Hello, Taurus, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of April 12th through the 18th. And during that time, we have mostly a waning crescent for most of the week, and that is a really good time of just being very stable, very calm. We're thinking about how we've grown in the last cycle and kind of self-reflecting on all those things that we've just done because we're about to make changes when the new moon approaches on the 17th. And of course, new moons are a good time for a fresh start, new beginnings, time to start new projects, learn something new, or just kind of make new decisions. So we're going to just evaluate most of the week and then decide, okay, when this new moon arrives on the 17th, I'm going to start this thing and this thing and this thing. And then hopefully you have success with those items. So that is just the moon energy for the week. So please keep that in mind. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter. So as always, Taurus, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is your commitment is being tested. All right, let's see in what realm is your commitment being tested, Taurus. As I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder this week, Taurus, is that you keep a spiritual journal. So sometimes we don't recognize the patterns that's happening, things that are happening in our life, in our spiritual life, or what we're learning. This is kind of just jotting down a little bit of, what you're learning and all the different spiritual ways that you're learning things. But one of those things is dreams. And I was just hearing on a podcast the other day, the guy was talking about, his dream journal. He has found that he has premonition dreams exactly 1 year apart. And I was so fascinated by that. I don't think I've experienced that myself. And I don't tend to write down every single dream, just the ones that kind of seem very significant to me. So I may change that and start writing down more dreams that I remember. So only because I have had other premonition dreams. They were not a year apart. Many of them were have the dream the next day the thing happens. Sometimes maybe within the week. So, but I just found that fascinating that he was doing that 1 year apart. Anyway, I will stop babbling. Keeping a journal is just a good idea, but dreams are a part of that. Please try to jot down your dreams. I think it's very important for all of us to do. All right, let's get into this reading. I will stop babbling. Taurus, April 12th through the 18th. Your commitment is being tested. Your overall present energy right now, Taurus, is the Death card. Well, there you go. Some sort of ending is coming in for you. And maybe that's why your commitment's being tested. This could be, anything from a job to a friendship to a death, a literal death. That's typically not, usually it's some sort of ending. And it could be just the ending of something that you've been participating in. Maybe there's something that lasted for a certain number of weeks and it's just the end of it. So there's just kind of an adjustment. That's typically what the Death card is. It's just time for an adjustment. Something's ending, something new. It just makes way for the new thing to come in. Your current situation right now is the Justice card. So this is something about some sort of truth, maybe something that you're learning. This is a card of equilibrium and things just being in order, things being very fair. So whatever is ending, it might not be the end of the world. Again, it's just kind of the cycle of the way things are going. At the root of your situation this week is the Ace of Pentacles. So this very well could be work related, something that's ending at work. Again, maybe just a project or something you were working on is coming to an end, but here comes the Pentacles. It's like a new financial opportunity. So make sure you are taking advantage of anything that you're doing at work where you need to speak up and ask for more money. Make sure you are doing that. Just do it. It seems like, it is there. It might be even being offered you. A lot of times this is the time of year where you do evaluations and your raise comes in. So make sure that, that people know your value and make sure you're asking for that money. In your recent past is the Four of Pentacles. So you're already feeling very financially stable, and that's fine, but that is no reason to ask for more money, especially in this economy. I'm going to say go ahead and ask for it, even if you are feeling stable and feeling like you're being treated fairly. Hey, gas is real high right now, so everybody needs a little money, right? What is on your mind this week is a little bit of, this is kind of being congratulated by your peers, by your friends and family. And this is kind of, a little bit of just a mini success. It's not like they're throwing a giant party, but there's some attaboys coming your way. And again, that could happen financially at work, which is great. that's really the best attaboy you can get. Of course, it's nice to hear those words, but it's really nice to see it on the bottom line in your paycheck. So again, make sure that you're asking if there's things, if you've been going out of your way to do a certain thing, make sure that you know you're being compensated for doing all of that extra work. What is just ahead of you this week is the star card. So it looks like, the star card's about being headed in the right direction. So maybe whatever changed, whatever this death card represented, whatever ending was coming to an end, you're heading in the right direction, probably for something new, maybe for some new truth to come in, some new information to be just coming into you. So just make sure you're an open channel to understanding, that things are moving in the direction they're supposed to be, is really, to me, what that star card indicates there. In your advice position here, Taurus, is the Seven of Pentacles. So, the seven is really just about waiting for the harvest. It's about kind of, you've done a good job on something. You've getting some congratulatory things headed your way. And now we're just kind of waiting on the money to come in, right? Just kind of waiting on the harvest. Whatever seeds you've planted, you're waiting for those things to come to fruition. So the advice is just be patient and wait. Just kind of status quo, but sit and wait for those things to come in. There's really not much you can, you can do other things, but just kind of wait. Just be patient there. All right, what is beyond your control this week is the Knight of Cups. So it's beyond your control to just be kind of emotionally open, and open to the things around you, people and places. And this is kind of just being open to conversation. Maybe you're making a new friend, maybe, but just be open. Just it's you being you, right? Be who you are, and just be open to the people that are around you to come forward and be who you are. That's really just it. It's just a card of being open. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid, is the Queen of Cups. So if it's your secret desire, it is a card about understanding not only your emotions and how they affect you and the world around you, but also, queens, kings and queens are about understanding the bigger world, the bigger picture, their constituents, the people around them. How are their emotions working out? And how are they emotionally driven? So that's either your secret desire is to be in this place of just really understanding all the emotional drivers of you and the people around you, or you avoid that altogether. So it's really, there's no wrong answer there. You can do either. But that's kind of your big question of the week is, do you want to be someone who understands, the motivation behind, why did this person at work say that thing? Is there some emotional reason they said that? Why did your sister say this thing? Why are they acting in this certain way? Sometimes you just want to get to the bottom of it, and sometimes you don't. So it's really up to you to decide how you want to be this week when it comes to things. In your outcome position, Taurus, is the Knight of Wands. So taking some sort of action with something that you're very passionate about and something that you love. And that's a great way to wrap up this week, especially since everything else, it's not like being stagnant, but it's almost like things are put into motion. There's really nothing you can do about it. Like this card here, the star card's about just showing that you're in the right direction. You're getting a little bit of some attaboys on something that you're working on. Like I said, I use work as an example, but it doesn't even necessarily have to be that. But the important thing for you is that you're moving forward on something that you're very passionate about. This could be anything. Passions range from, there's so many you can't even name them, but just think of something in your life right now that you're like, oh, I really love doing that, and just continue doing it. That's really what that card means. What is hidden from you this week is some anxiety with the Nine of Swords. I love when that card's there. There's a few cards in the deck that it's like, perfect, we don't need that this week. Let it be hidden. We don't need it. That's great. All right, let's get you a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final word for Taurus. Your commitment is being tested. I'm not even sure if I saw what that was. Maybe it is in this death card, and maybe a decision that comes out of that. I meant to address that. So if there's something that is done or something that changes, something that should be in the forefront of your mind is, did you make a commitment to something new lately and that it is being tested, or are you feeling like that's a test with something that's ending? Interesting. So some of you are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. As soon as I said those words, you're going to be like, oh yeah, it's that one thing. And it'll be different for a lot of you, but you'll know. All right. Final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Forgive and forget. So maybe that's about this Justice card and that Death card on top of each other. Forgive and forget. There might be something in there that you do just need to forgive and forget. What do you need to do in the way of self-care? Self-care for Taurus this week. Self-care for Taurus is the card called Energy. Stop trying to please everyone. Everyone is a whole lot of people. Protect your energy. Yeah, you can only really please yourself, maybe a couple of others around you, and it's just not even worth it. Do what you're going to do, let people react how they're going to react, and do protect your energy. You probably have your eye on a particular prize, probably in different areas of your life, and you're head down and working. I mean, that's very Taurusy of you, to be very loyal to the things that you're working on. So protect your own energy, forgive and forget if there's something going on there that some of you needed to hear that. But yeah, I think just go along, do the things that you're passionate about. Ask for the raise if you feel like you've been doing a lot of work and you're getting some sort of recognition for it. You want to see that recognition on your bottom line. So, Taurus, thank you so much for being here. I do hope there's something in this reading that you can take away and use in a positive way in your life this week. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below and let me know if anything here resonated or if you had questions. I'd be happy to answer this for you. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe helps me a whole lot, and I appreciate that of you so much. So, thanks in advance, and good luck with all of this. I will see you next week. Bye bye.